Hi, so I'm live and I'm alive. I hadn't done one of those in a while. Um, Here I am. And right now I'm actually recording on two separate devices so that way I can post this on YouTube as well because apparently it takes 24 hours to activate a live stream and all this stuff. So we're here and I'm webcamming it and I'm doing Instagram Live. So hello if you're watching later on YouTube. Hi, how are you? And I'm going to read Acid for the Children. But first I want to talk about the Environmental Defense Fund, who is the fundraiser for this session. And man, it's scary because global warming is happening, and they're voting on drilling, allowing us to drill in the Arctic. And so I don't know if you've ever looked up what an oil spill looks like, but that's not it's not feasible with our environment and everything that's happening for us to even have the possibility of that happening, and especially in the last of our wilderness here on this continent. So please just look into it, because the administration is passing a lot of crazy things right now as far as with the environment. And I know that because COVID's happening, there's a lot going on in the world. And then the election's happening in November. But there are things that are happening right now having to do with legislation and I was going to say rape. That's the only word that would come to mind that I feel best describes it. I was trying to find a different word, but no. The raping of our land. So, as harsh a term as that might sound to somebody, that's what's happening. So, please understand that this administration has been letting a lot happen. And so, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but the Environmental Defense Fund is an organization that you can donate to, so that way we can protect our lands and our wildernesses, because we don't need to expand outward. We need to concentrate inward on how we can better create systematic changes and for the betterment and social services of our nation, and not be the oil right now as it is in surplus. I mean, just a while ago they were trying to find places to store it because the cost of the barrel had dropped so low. Like, everyone's like, oh, but oil is so cheap right now. It's like, yeah, but what does that mean? That means that they're going to be burning it into the atmosphere when they have too much. And that stuff, if you've seen it, it's like a geyser. Like, they crack somebody's head open. They're cracking our crust open, the crust of the earth. So I just want people to viscerally feel what that is doing to the earth. I mean, I just hopefully I described it a little bit in a way that will make you feel it. So I'm just gonna get off my soapbox. Please look into the Environmental Defense Fund so we can and vote. Go vote in November. Make sure you're registered to vote. Even if you think you're registered to vote, make sure you're registered to vote at your new address or your old address or your whatever address. And please ensure that those around you are registered. If you go to registertexas.org, I believe it's either .com or .org, but registertexas.org. It'll take you to a website that you can check there. You scroll down and it'll have a place where you can check if you're registered, and if not, it'll send you, you just put your address in there, it'll send you a place where you can, it's just a form that you fill out, and it has prepaid postage, so you don't have to worry about that, and you can just send it right back. And if for you or anyone that you know. So just keep that in mind, that getting registered to vote, the mail, it might take a few weeks, and so please do it now because it's September, and you know, I'm sure it takes a little longer to mail things and get everything processed now because of COVID and safety precautions that they probably are taking. So without further ado, please check out the Environmental Defense Fund. If you can donate to them, that would be fantastic. Or spread awareness about just keeping our public lands safe. And I'm going to read Acid for the Children by Flea. It's a memoir, and it has been amazing and inspiring and eye-opening. It makes you realize that it doesn't matter where you come from, or the obstacles you faced, or the perceived wrong things that you think you've done or others have thought you've done, you can still find solace in yourself. You can still grow. You can branch out and have self-realization and mindfulness, and then grow from there. And that we're constantly growing people, and that's really comforting. And it's all about learning and the journey, I think, and like empathizing and connecting with love, and rising above our vainness in a lot of ways, and also realizing that others, you know, are struggling too, and we have to find common ground. I don't know, there's just so many layers in this book, and he's going through his life, and just seeing the journey is so important, and love is very important, and your support network is so important. I'm just really, really enjoying this book. For those on YouTube, I've been reading it, and we're already on page 252, and so we're a little bit into the book. If you want to see, this is what we've covered, and this is what we've left, and I just do like a chapter or a few chapters at a time, and then we go from there. I don't talk too long, usually just the first half of the video, and then I go into a few chapters. And if you'd like to comment on what you think themes are from the chapters I've read, that would be great. If not, that's completely fine. I'm wearing my Charles Bukowski shirt. That's right. And so I'm gonna start reading now. This is Flea's Acid for the Children. The chapter is Working Stiff, and I am gonna drink some coffee. What up, D? How are you? I'm gonna do a little wave because I haven't started reading yet. Anybody else comes in? Mi molo? So there I was, a young man needing to make a living in the world. I worked a full-time job during the day and anthem practiced most nights. To honor our increasingly, for those on YouTube later, Anthem is Flea's band that he joined when he was in high school. To honor our increasingly arty aspirations, we changed the band name to What Is This? Period. while we were trying to think of new names, Hillel suggested Lauren Green's dog and the captain's log. Someone use it, I beg you, please. The boys thought I was good at speaking to music business types, so I was designated the band's manager and agent. And we had business cards made up for me. I hustled gigs. I was starting to get good at talking a line of shit to club. That was my daddy. But now's not the time. Sorry, Dad. If you watch this later, I apologize. And we had business cards made up for me. I hustled gigs. I was starting to get good at talking a line of shit to the club promoters before Jack's girlfriend, Kevin, took over as the band's manager. I always had a strong work ethic. At the age of 9, I went knocking on every door. They're gonna watch Mulan! Oh my god. I have so much studying to do. I literally am gonna read this, and then I'm gonna read out loud some of my textbooks on my Reading Rage Inc. because I have so much to do. As much as I really want to watch Mulan with my family. Oh, I also heard that Disney is in some sort of altercation because they shot Mulan in parts of China that have questionable labor laws and practices. So I want to look into that a little bit more. But I mean, is that only Mulan? You know what I mean? Like I'm sure that there's other Disney movies that are shot somewhere that something controversial happened. I mean, you can't. I think that's awesome that we have a movie that shows gender norm breaking and someone not mainstream looking, meaning white. You know, so I think it's nice that we have a diversity. And sorry, I'm just gonna stop there. So I always had a strong work ethic. At the age of 9, I went knocking on every door in the neighborhood, offering to mow the lawn for $1. At 11, I stood outside the local supermarket exit and helped people with their cars with the unwieldy grocery bags to get tips. I've always been an earner, be it a substantial job or a hustle. I had paper routes, worked in phone sales, been a collection agency weasel, and spent most mundane days as a file clerk in a law office. I inherited industriousness from my father, who showed me that no one was gonna do it for me. My first full-time job was as a delivery boy at a liquor store. A place run by 2 brothers, Wilfred and Amos. Wilfred was a sweetheart of a man, and for him, I would have done anything. I enjoyed whiling away the slow night hours with him, chatting and listening to the radio. I told him about my dreams, to touch people's hearts with music. I was uplifted by his warm encouragement. The other brother was more uptight. If there was a slow time, he invented work to be done. Keep sweeping. Sweep the fucking parking lot. I was driving around delivering booze when Led Zeppelin's Ramble On came on the radio. It was so beautiful. I had to pull over. I wept alone on the side of the road as the music moved through me. I was so certain that my life's work existed in the form they created. A year later, I had a similar experience with Led Zepp on a plane. I was listening to Physical Graffiti in my ear goggles when the plane lurched into the wildest turbulence and plummeted. The flight attendant hit the floor. I thought we were going down. Everyone on the plane was crying and screaming. I just listened to In My Time of Dying in happy tears, thinking it was all a cosmic setup, that I got to hear this beauty before I died to merge with the cosmic groove. The mighty Led Zepp. I delivered whiskey to a lonely old woman in a wheelchair who had me retrieve her shot glass from its hiding place in the potted plant, then hid the bottle up in the plant. Expensive wine to West Side fancy pants sophisticates who tip nothing, and beer to stoned party dudes who tipped well. Each night after I took my tips directly to Aaron's record store on Melrose and thumbed through the used record bins, copying everything that looked interesting. King Crimson, Alice Coltrane, Gregory Isaacs, the Electric Miles Davis funk records like Big Fun and On the Corner blew my mind. Best weed music ever recorded. Sparked up a fatty, yeah. I showed up to work tripping on acid one shiny day when the uptight brother was there. He had purchased a new car for the store and insisted on putting me through a driving test. Oh shit, fuck. Oh god. I was trying to hide my high from him and attempted to make conversation, saying philosophical things while he instructed me about the new church and gear shift. He was a somewhat religious man, in a lip service kind of way, and I told him that all religions were exclusive and elitist country clubs poisoning the love in our world. Raising an eyebrow of concern, he looked at me with disgust and told me to keep my eye on the road. That was Mr. Toad's wild ride for sure, but I pulled it off. I quit or was fired after a year or so. Can't remember which. This next chapter is called There's No Place Like Home. There's no place like home. There's no place like... Anthony, J.K., and I rented a house together on Formosa Avenue in Hollywood. A cool little half-hearted craftsman home that had once housed a family of moderate means, but now existed in the heart of hooker and drug territory. The poor old house's feeble attempt at architectural nobility dragged slowly through a landscape of syringes, crack pipes, and used condoms, like a dinosaur into a tar pit. Half a block south on Santa Monica Boulevard, an all-day and night parade of male prostitutes, the outlines of their cocks visible against tightly panted thighs, leched over by gay men too intimidated by society's backwards-ass prejudices to come out of the closet. Just north on Sunset Boulevard, the river of female prostitutes flowed, certainly inclusive of my friend, the woman, one C-note richer via me. They all... So earlier, for those on YouTube, sorry, or that haven't, or on Instagram that haven't seen that chapter or heard me read it, read it on Reddit. Just kidding. I do have Reddit, but I don't use it. On his graduation day from high school, he graduated already. Woo! Sometimes he moves back and forth through the timeline though, but I'm assuming this is already. You could tell when. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But when he graduated high school, his mom gave him $100 for a graduation present, and he tried to spend it on a hooker, but she stole it, and he didn't get his HJ hug job. You know, a hug job. don't know if you can see that I'm winking. Anyways, so that's what that means. And so they all walked by our house constantly. I once saw a group of women strolling by the front of our house. One of them stopped and pulled up her miniskirt, stooped over with her hands on her knees, arched her back, and pressed her ass up against the telephone pole and peed on the terry wood. We all worked our day jobs and nurtured our dreams. My first home away from my parents, I was thrilled and grateful. Oh, he's so sweet. He's like, that was my first home. And he was like, but he was thrilled and grateful. Next chapter, Neighbor Voices. We partied our asses off many a weekend at an underground club, the Brave Dog, a bar with a small stage in the corner, chock full of arty downtown denizens who made up the post-punk scene. Its festivities bled out into the parking lot and alley behind, where on those hot summer nights the unexpected always happened. The grit and grime of that industrial, desolate part of town was a canvas on which we painted like madmen. I got so excited getting dressed up in some nutty outfit at the Formosa house, all kinds of psyched up listening to X's first record, scrubbing my balls clean in hope of getting laid, smoking brotherly joints, driving recklessly down the LA streets, ready for anything. At the Brave Dog, I saw a band called Neighbors Voices. Oh, I thought I would be able to read at the same time, but my hair's so big it got in the way. This is why I always have it back, because it's so big. Like if I had a tail, I bet it'd be super fluffy, like my dog's. Anyways, but, not that I think about those things, because I don't. Sorry. So, at the Brave Dog, I saw a band called Neighbors Voices, and the music floored me. I was startled. It sounded like the future. 3 French guys and an American singer, Gary Allen. Oh, I wonder if that's the country singer. Just kidding. Sorry. Gary is wearing this absurdly oversized jumpsuit thing that he could squirm around in, putting his legs in the armhole while his head came poking out of the leg. He kept morphing shape, moving around and dancing in it, singing in strange theatrical voices, all the while the band playing this wild, angular, driving, arty, and propulsive music that just drove me fucking crazy. It had a jazzy dissonance to it. No bass player. Oh, that sucks. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I bet it was great. No bass player, just 2 guitarists and a drummer. The drummer, Joel, pronounced Zoel. That's what it says in parentheses. Virgil Verset. Oh, they're French. Right, sorry. Leveled me. Originally from the island of Guadeloupe. Are you sure they're French? He played African Caribbean flavored beats that webbing into a hard as fuck hybrid with disco and funk. Along with some others in our crew, I befriended them. Both Zoel and Gary, became close and influential people in my life. Gary was from the South, a warm and kind gay man who showed me the sweetest friendship. He was a mentor with advice and encouragement which, to be honest, felt motherly. He was like family. He made wild clothes for various artists, rock stars and whatnot, and would give me cool outfits. The 3 French guys in the band had been living in a parking lot in Venice. One of the two guitar players, David, pronounced David, Mamau, oh, I guess his last name is Mamau, told me that at one point he'd gone back to Paris for 3 months. When he returned to LA, he was amused to find the other two guys still living in the parking lot. He was laughing hysterically about that. Their French street hood brand of wacky and intelligent humor was different than anything I'd known. They soon got a storefront in Hollywood, where they lived and rehearsed their band. It was on Yucca Avenue, right next door to the soul food restaurant, Greens and Things. A small room where a taciturn man sipping from a 40-ounce bottle of Old English 800 would fry you up a plate of chicken that made you feel like it was good to be an earthling. I began a musical relationship with Zoel. He and I jammed frequently. We had some great rhythms happening and came close to starting a band, but just never got it together. Some transcendent long jams I'll never forget. I was finding my own rhythm as a bass player, pushed forward by Zoel's unique beats. This will be the last chapter I read, and it's called My 3 Sons. Even though we all had jobs and took care of our rent at the Formosa house, things got strange in a hurry. J.K. became aloof from Anthony and me due to general personality conflicts, and he was steadfastly against me and AK throwing a wild party one night. Our goal was to have the craziest party ever in the history of Hollywood. His frustration was exponentially exacerbated by the fact that Anthony and I had discovered the joys of shooting up cocaine. This cocaine shooting, jeezing, led to some pretty quirky behavior, and JK, who was wound tightly at the most peaceful of times, didn't dig it. He was reaching in quietly mysterious ways, cooking up plans to rid himself of us and our absurd shenanigans. I won't lie. I've known a few people to do a few drugs, and scrubbing my balls clean. I just saw that. Sorry. I just never have thought cocaine ever made someone nicer. I've met people on it, and I'm just like, you're a jackass. You are mean. You're being mean. You know what I mean? I just feel like it makes people uptight and makes them I never think it makes someone if you meet someone that is a smoker, I've met people that smoke weed, and those people are always just chill and giving and sweet generally. And I don't see that with people that drink alcohol a lot either. I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? I feel like that's a little more different, and also depends on what you're drinking and how much of it you drink and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I just feel I don't know. I'm super biased too. I just think I would prefer a smoker over a snorter any day, right? Anyways. Never mind, I was gonna say something. Never mind. I'm gonna continue. There's just a couple more paragraphs. But I am gonna have some coffee. This is my Seattle mug. Don't judge me. It is Starbucks. Did I get it from the Pike Street Market original Starbucks? No. No, I did not, because the line was fucking long as shit, and I was not going to stand in that line. No offense. I'm not that big of a Starbucks fan that I need to. I see it from the outside. This is awesome just being in the area. We don't have to do that. It's fine. I had a friend that was living there, and he was so sweet to host me. Anyways, but... And I was like, hi, date me. And he's like, no, that's okay. And that's fine. It's totally fine. But he was really nice, and we just as a platonic friend, we just went out and You know what I mean? I feel like cum typo? Ooh. For real, kind of guilty. Everybody on cum becomes an cum? On cocaine? On cocaine? What is, why did you say on cum typo? Oh, becomes. Oh, everyone on it becomes an entrepreneur. No, I have no idea what everybody on becomes an entrepreneur. I don't know what we're talking about. But I'm going to keep reading. I'm so sorry. That's why I don't look at comments. Sorry, D. Oh, Coke. Oh, yes. They become entrepreneurs, though? Or like, why did you put entrepreneur? They just get angry, right? They just, like, kind of get, like, sloppy, angry, kind of, like, jerky. Anyways, don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me, because I'm gonna continue reading, sorry. When Anthony and I had the craziest party in history of Hollywood, I took my handfuls of brightly colored pills and capsules from the veterinary hospital I was now working at. All through the living and dining rooms of the Formosa house ran a molding about chest high, a 3-inch wide little shelf connecting all along the walls. Fancy! I placed hundreds of pills along the shelf throughout all 4 walls of the dining room in a vibrantly color-coordinated pattern. Beautiful art installation. The pills were for various animal maladies like diarrhea, raw spots from excessive itching, and also included antibiotics and tranquilizers. The crowd of Hollywood high and low lifes ate the pills and puked and pooped for days after. Emerging from the craziness of the party crowd came Snickers, a dude from a local band, a punk band called The Stains. He commandeered the stereo, took off the arty music we were playing, and put on an AC/DC record. When I tried to put on some Ornette Coleman jazz, obviously, he jumped up in front of the record player and whipped out a Bowie knife. A 40-ounce of Schlitz in one hand and a knife in the other. He stood guard over the AC/DC for the length of the album, stoically banging his head, greasy hair hanging down with his wildly bloodshot eyes. I wasn't gonna fuck with him. True rocker. We later became friends. Ooh, this one's cool. It's different, it's different. Anyways, it's a different style, like the way he wrote the chapter. This is cool. I'm excited, but we're not gonna continue, and I'll show you next time how it's written. And we're ending on page 260. So thank you so much for tuning in and tuning out. See you. Oh, I do, please, if you're watching this at any point, look into the Environmental Defense Fund. The Sierra Club's doing a lot of research too to help defend. What did he say? Yeah, for real. No, I don't know how many business ideas I have heard from people that are on coke. They just get like super like, I'm gonna create businesses. Like, okay, is that what you mean? I'm sorry, but AC/DC at a party is the vibe. I'm sorry, but AC/DC at a party is the vibe. Like to be like, gotta like leave the AC/DC on. Gotta leave it on! Or however he sings, sorry. That's not how he sings. That was terrible. But please donate to the Environmental Defense Fund. And, man, not to get too soapboxy, but Trump, instead of, when he was in France recently, instead of going to visit the war memorial and like honoring the troops, he decided to not do that and to go take some art from the whoever he was staying with over there in France. So the minister or whoever is, I'm sorry, I don't remember the title. I was reading it on artnet.com I was reading on ArtNet. And so I subscribed to their newsletter and was reading about that. And I just think that's insane that he would not go and honor our people and instead would go commandeer some art. So that happened. So just go vote. Please make sure that who you're voting for, that their priorities are straight, that they're honoring our people, they're protecting our lands, they're not raping our lands and raping our people. That'd be nice. If you could vote for someone nice, that'd be great. Thanks. But you know, it's your choice. I hate saying that, but it's true. Who's this? I would love to donate, but I don't get $20. Donate to me. Also, now that you say that, he's like, I'm gonna sign off now. Like, please donate to me. No, but really, I would love to get any sort of donation. And if you can, and you like my live readings, $5 here, $100,000 there. 20 million. And I would allocate it correctly to protect our lands and protect our people and more social services. And anyways, just saying. So if you vote for me, just kidding. But the art thief guy, Trump, art thief. Yeah, exactly. He's an art thief. Who's art thief guy? Trump. Trump took some art from France, if that's what we're circling back to, and he's allowing, he's trying to move forward with drilling in the Arctic. So please, 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 there's no need. Right now, oil is in surplus. They're burning that shit. They're looking for people to buy that. We don't need to do that. Okay? Sorry, that made me look crazy, but I'm crazy upset that we would. Thank you. If you would like, my cash app is Lisa, Lisa Garza. It's right here. If you'd like to cash app me, you can always cash app me to donate. Thank you so much. But honestly, you should read this book. It's please, just his heart and soul in this, and it's amazing. And I hope you enjoyed the reading. He is hilarious, and he is sorrowful, and he is inspirational, and I love the journey. It's helping my journey. And I really appreciate it, and I hope it's helping yours. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm tuning out. That didn't work. I was trying to hold the face, but it didn't work. Bye, guys. And then I have to stop this one because you're still there too. Hi. Also, bye.